Awesome. Hello, everyone. This is Erin Morgan. I am the editorial director of Eyecare Business Magazine, and I am live here at Vision Expo West in Las Vegas. We are at the Lamy booth, and I am really fortunate to be here with two blind brothers, Brad and Bryan Manning. And thank you guys for joining us today.
Thank you, and thank you to Bryan for giving me the microphone first. So nice of him.
We heard that was going to be tough.
I am very disappointed. Trust me, it was a long game of rock paper scissors. He cheated, but we have more important things to talk about today.
Awesome, I love it. These guys have a great energy and really cool story. So, can you tell us a little bit about? So, you're two blind brothers. You grew up together. I hear there's 5 years difference. So, can you tell us a little bit about your visual journey? What is your visual condition? Kind of how did that progress over time? And I'm going to give you that mic. Fair game, yeah.
Well, now we have to fight. But no, as the older brother, I actually had symptoms first. So the way that we found out about our eye condition is I failed the kindergarten eye chart in that optometrist's office, and that started this 2-year hunt to figure out what had happened. And after a lot of different doctors and visits, I end up in this one clinic with my mom. They do this test where they dye your blood to look at pictures of your retina. They saw that I had a condition called Stargardt's disease. It's a form of juvenile macular degeneration where you lose your center vision over time. You can keep a lot of your peripheral vision, but at that time, it was a very tough day, more for my mom than me, because the doctor walked in and said, "Hey, your son has this condition. Take him home, teach him Braille, give him a magnifier, and best of luck, because there's no cure." And, I was too young to know what that meant. But one of the cornerstones of our story was having a fantastic set of parents. And my mom that day, she took me, she said, "Let's go get a sundae at Friendly's and let's go to Blockbuster." And I remember sitting there watching this movie Air Bud, where this dog was shooting 3-pointers, eating a sundae, thinking it was actually the best day of my entire life. So that's how it started.
Wow. And so when you were kindergarten, were you about the same age when you were diagnosed?
Yeah, so 5 years later, I got the same diagnosis at the same doctor. Slight difference, though. I got Airbud 2 Golden Receiver. The dog is a real dual threat dog. I got a double sundae, bigger than Brad's, mom said. I don't know.
I love it. So how has that progressed for you over? Thank you. Now you're interviewing, right? It's all good. How's that progressed for you over the years? I mean, where are you at now with your vision?
So vision now is vision acuity is about 2,400.
Okay.
Legal blindness is at 2,200. So what does that mean practically? It means we don't read small print, we can't recognize faces well, and we don't drive. But with having some peripheral vision, we can navigate a room, and I can also find Bryan often enough. He has a very visually impaired friendly head, so I can spot it in a big crowd, actually.
At what point do you know no bounds? That is, you don't have to take shots. This is a nice interview. This is a family-friendly channel.
These guys, this is like a comedy show. I love you guys. You guys are awesome. So so you've both kind of had this, condition for many years now. And so what kind of tools have you used, and how have you supported each other on this journey since you've been on the same journey?
Yeah, I'd say the tools we use actually, I know there's an incredible array of kind of low vision tools and tech out there.
Definitely.
But the most common ones we use are really just a lot of native tools inside of Apple products,
Sure.
Speech to text, text to speech, zooming in. I remember when the iPhone 3 came out, because you actually could take a picture and the camera got so good, you could zoom in on a menu. And that was like the greatest unlock from my pocket magnifier I had to read all my textbooks with through college. And, this is the thing that is really amazing for us is coming through this whole process with a family member, with a brother. You get to benchmark yourself against somebody saying, he did that, I'm going to go do it. And you had this shared experience. And that's one of the most beautiful parts of Two Blind Brothers, is because we've had all this attention, because when you Google blindness, we pop up. Families reach out to us every week who don't have anybody else. So we get to actually get into this community, talk to a lot of patients, go through their experience with them, and get to actually hopefully make a 1% difference in the worst day of somebody's life.
Absolutely, no doubt. So that is really exciting to hear about, and hear about the supports and the tools that are native. So that's really cool. Can you tell us a little bit about the company that you founded, Two Blind Brothers? When did that happen? I see behind us here your logos. There's merchandise. I've been on your website. It's really cool with clothing and different merchandise. And there's a guide dog tie-in as well. So can you just tell us a little bit about the company?
Sure. This is some of the good stuff. I'm glad I got this one. No, so 7.5 years ago, Brian and I were shopping in New York City, and we were in a Bloomingdale store. And if you're blind or visually impaired, shopping can be a big pain. So one of the ways that we always buy everything is we'll grab something, touch it, see if we love the way it feels, and then we'll do all the other work. What's the size, the price, the tag? Is it a men's shirt? Made that mistake once. But we lost each other in the store, and we came out, and we had actually coincidentally bought the same exact shirt. And we were we were just dumbstruck by, and we're like, maybe there's something to this vigilance to touch. What if we started a brand with two simple missions? One, the softest, most high quality fabrics with that vigilance to touch. And two, let's try to help the Foundation Fighting Blindness, which is the organization that funds all of the preclinical research for conditions like ours. And that's when we came up with the idea for Two Blind Brothers. And I guess I'll let Brian talk a little bit about the guide dogs.
Yeah, well, on our donation front to date, we've donated over $1.7 million to retinal research. And that's going back to researchers right on the cutting edge to finding treatments, preventions, and cures. And the guide dogs are awesome. So we make this beautiful line of kind of stuff, our plush guide dogs.
I see them back here. They've got some really cool
They're
ones.
so precious, and we partner with organizations like Southeastern Guide Dogs who actually raise, train, and provide full service guide dogs for blind and visually impaired folks at no cost to them. So a portion of all of our guide dog sales actually go directly back to those organizations, funding and finding guide dogs for people that need them most.
That's fantastic. So the site has clothing, it has the guide dog stuff on there. You know, that's a really cool thing. So is it twoblindbrothers.com?
Twoblindbrothers.com. And if you go there, you'll see what's actually been the thing that's gotten us the most attention, which is the Shop Blind Challenge. The idea that, you know, and this gets back to your question about tools. One of the tools that we actually found is the most helpful is leveraging the people around us. So when we're stumbling through this crazy exhibit hall, you know, sometimes the easier thing than to try and zoom in on a map, it's to find the person next to us and say, hey, can you tell us where the Lamy booth is? And so we thought, what if we could create this online? What if we asked people this simple question? No product information, no details, just a simple question. Will you shop blind? And so that's been one of our most successful campaigns. And so that's what you'll see if you go to twoblindbrothers.com.
That's fantastic. So, and we're here at the Lamy booth, obviously, because you have a partnership with the company now for an eyewear collection. So I have heard that's going to launch at Vision Expo East in about 6 months in New York City. So can you tell us a little bit about the eyewear collection for men and women? You know, kind of what's the focus there, and what are the frames going to look like?
God, I would love to. I am psyched on this question. It's almost like it was prepared. No, what is amazing is when we're talking about eyesight and we're talking about vision, you know, the vigilance to touch, comfortable clothing, there's a great connection there. But what's closer to your eyes than the eyewear you wear?
Definitely.
And I remember even growing up, I didn't want to wear glasses because I didn't want the stigma. I didn't want the association. And so I left myself at a detriment because I wasn't willing to wear these frames.
Right.
And there's so many people out there right now that are doing that same thing because they don't connect with the thing closest to their face.
Definitely.
And what Brad and I always had is we had all of the passion, all of the care, and all of the persistence to get there,
Right.
but we didn't have the expertise. And then we found Lamy, or actually they found us, who has all the expertise. But what was even more magical is their same level of passion and care for the eye that we have.
Definitely.
And so we got to combine this amazing moment to create a men's and women's eyewear line that is, from a product standpoint, absolutely gorgeous, but also stands with the Two Blind Brothers mission behind it to try and help treatments, to help find cures for blindness. That's wonderful. It really, and I like want to grab all the audience and bring them over and show them, because like I feel like a proud dad looking at this stuff. It is just so, it just looks, they all look like museum pieces. Wow. And we know people are going to have such a connection to them, right, that they're, from the product perspective, they're going to look great, but they'll also get to feel just so good about everything that they're doing.
Wow. There's a really cool kind of 360 moment for Bryan and I. And if you want to do a spin, you can.
Whee!
No, just kidding. That definitely wasn't rehearsed. But, you know, growing up from that age, when failing the kindergarten eye chart at 5 years old to 10 years old, going through all those offices, all those moments in high school, trying to get the bioptic lenses so we could pass, to be back in the optometrist clinic in this way, with this message, right, in front of those families and patients and moms and dads, and it's very personal to Bryan and I, and we can feel the energy here. And there's so many things about the collection. We've done a subtle little Braille detail. Bryan and I learned Braille as kids, and we have it on all of our apparel. And you know, we've named each of the styles after an optometrist or ophthalmologist who's contributed somewhere in history to the field. Obviously, the charitable component, and so we're really trying to have this honor the patients, the eye health professionals, and help the science going forward with the Foundation Fighting Blindness.
Wow, that's amazing. Well, congratulations. You have a wonderful partner and an amazing kind of future here in the eyewear industry, no doubt. I'm really excited to see some of these frames as well. Wow, I could talk to you guys all day long. This is so fun. So thank you for joining us.
Well, thank you for having us. Thanks everyone for tuning in.
Yeah, you know, and Bryan and I always say this, but the fact that, you know, folks like you all are willing to cover this story, that's the only reason that we've been able to get this message out there. So big thank you to, you know, organizations like yours and all the attention and help on all this.
Well, it is our honor and our pleasure to do so and to help spread that message. So thank you for what you do. All right. Well, very cool. Well, thanks so much. And thank you all for joining us today. We appreciate it. This is a great story. And head on over to the Lamy booth if you're here at Vision Expo, and you can meet. You guys are here today?
Here today and tomorrow.
Oh, wow. Awesome. Okay. Today and tomorrow. So thanks for joining us, and stay tuned. We'll be live streaming more from the show floor here today and tomorrow at Vision Expo West. Thank you, guys.
Bye, everybody.